what happens when you have to choose between the safety of the group? If you're in the group, you're safer than if you are completely alone. How far will you go to be accepted by the group in terms of sacrificing your own individuality?
Welcome to the Stories Cafe podcast, the espresso version of Stories Cafe, offering quick, enriching moments of reflection on literature, cinema, archetypes, philosophy, and the art of living deliberately. Just like a perfectly crafted espresso at a Parisian cafe, each episode is a brief pause for you to submerge yourself in something invigorating and fulfilling. I'm Annette Wernblad, course creator, internationally published author, and wanderer at heart. So cozy up as we explore the powerful world of stories, how they shape our lives, and teach us the art of living deliberately. So today we are continuing our exploration of Peter Weir's adaptation of Dead Poets Society and the many important life lessons that John Keating teaches the boys in the course of the film.
So he takes the boys out into the courtyard and he asks some of the boys to walk around in a circle, and the other boys are around them. And very quickly, the three boys start marching into the same beat, and the other boys start clapping to that same beat. And Keating starts saying, I don't know, but I've been told right, left, like military. And then he stops them and he says, what is the point of that exercise? And the point is that very, very quickly, if three boys are walking together in a circle, they will start walking in unison. They will start walking to the same beat. And the point of that lesson is how difficult it is, as Keating says, is the difficulty of maintaining your own belief in the face of others. So if you're surrounded by others, it is indeed actually very difficult to maintain your own belief. And then he says to the boys watching, you're all thinking, yeah, I would have walked differently. But then ask yourself, why did you start clapping? Because it's the same thing, isn't it? They start walking, marching in the same beat, and the others start clapping. So the lesson of that is, can you actually stay with your own belief in the face of others? And that is one of the most basic paradoxes and dilemmas and dichotomies, whatever, that human beings are in at any time, is that the need for acceptance versus our own unique beliefs. When I say that's one of the most basic philosophical, psychological struggles that all human beings have, is that we are all part of a group and individuals. And if you look back at Walt Whitman, the multitude as opposed to identity, it's the same kind of thing. You have your own identity, but you're also part of a group. So how do you balance those two things? And the truth is that it's very difficult. It's easy to be sort of facile and look back at, for instance, now we're going even further back in American literature to look at Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter, that you have Hester Prynne, who's living in the Pilgrim community, and she has an affair with the minister. And she becomes the scapegoat of the whole community. So when she comes out of prison, she has to wear this huge A on her at all times on her dress, so that people can see that she's, I suppose the sort of obvious meaning of the A is adulterous, but it can mean a lot of other things. So we're sitting here, oh, what a horrible society. Why does she have to do that? But the thing is that for a group to survive, it goes back to our old brain, the sort of the primal brain. For a group to survive, there have to be certain rules. If you then turn it around and see it from the point of view of the individual, and again, there's also what every single one of us is up against, is that we have a very deep need to be accepted. And in many, many primitive cultures, the worst punishment is expulsion. If you're banished from the group, that is the worst punishment of all. And it actually happens later that Hester Prynne is banished. Then the interesting thing about Hester Prynne, she's one of the if you look back at female characters from early literature on, she's one of my heroes, because she herself, she is the most brilliant artist, really. She does embroidery. Obviously, a woman couldn't do any other kind of art, really, at that time. So while she's been in prison, she's embroidered this Scarlet Letter, the A that she has to wear, and it's a work of art. It is so, so beautiful. She wants to fit in, and she wants to be accepted by the group, but she has a very deep belief in her own identity and her own individuality. So she, not even probably consciously, she turns this Scarlet Letter almost into a mockery, because that whole group of people believed in things having to be as sparse as possible. You can have any kind of ornament. And she comes out and she is indeed wearing the A that they told her to do. But it's a brilliant, beautiful, beautiful work of art. I always loved that. And then when she comes out, she realizes it a little bit. She has a child from that illicit affair, Pearl, and she sort of realizes that, oh, they're not going to like that. So she takes the baby and holds it in front of the Scarlet A, and that becomes so paradoxical, because she's taking one physical manifestation of her shame, the baby, to cover the other physical manifestation of her shame. And of course, you can sort of go into all kinds of other works, the French Lieutenant's Woman, all kinds of works that are about this, the Age of Innocence, Edith Wharton, about these strong female characters. The Madame Olenska at the end of the Age of Innocence is, of course, banished from the group as well, as is Sarah Woodruff in the French Lieutenant's Woman. But it takes a lot of courage to choose your own path. I think it's what Newland Archer in The Age of Innocence is up against. What happens when you have to choose between the safety of the group? If you're in the group, you're safer than if you are completely alone. How far will you go to be accepted by the group in terms of sacrificing your own individuality? Again, think back to Walt Whitman, the multitude as opposed to identity. If you have your own identity, and everything Keating is teaching these boys is about listen to your own inner voice. Start walking to the beat of your own drum. Start carving out your own path in life. And it's not an easy thing to do. And Neil can't handle the dilemma or the pain. And actually, at the very end, most of them succumb to that sort of McCarthy pressure of naming names. The difficulty of maintaining your own belief in the face of others is that you start walking to the beat of your own drum, but before you know it, you're walking in unison, with to the same beat as the others, and all the others are applauding to that same beat. You have your own identity, but you're also part of a group. So how do you balance those two things? And the truth is that it's very difficult.
Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your espresso break and learned something new. If you're eager to dive deeper into the world of stories and ideas, be sure to hit the follow button in Spotify or the plus button in Apple Podcasts so that you get each new episode straight to your podcast app. You can also visit us at Stories Cafe. Just go to stories-cafe.com. There you can explore free content for a taste of what we offer, or if you're ready for more, a paid membership unlocks in-depth discussions, full access to our archives, and a vibrant community of fellow story enthusiasts. I am so thrilled to have you here, and I look forward to welcoming you back to the Stories Cafe soon.